It's here. It's time for anime Dark Souls. When it was first announced back in 2017, it certainly did look like Dark Souls with an anime aesthetic. You got your enemy lock on while you strafe around them, big bosses, dodge rolls, and it's Dark Souls, man. After spending 20 hours with it, it is just that, along with some of its own things going on. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. This is made by Shift, you know, the God Eater guys. And also Bandai Namco. If you played any God Eater game before, then you know that Shift nails the anime art style and it's full of customization options for your character. You start off making your pretty anime boy or waifu. There's a lot to work with here, so there's no doubt you can make the OC of your dreams, or at least pretty close to it. Next, you're put into a tutorial section where you learn the controls and how the combat works. It's Dark Souls. What is different though is the class system. Since the game has its own terms for everything, I'm gonna list them all here so you don't get confused. Blood Code is class, Gift is skill, Haze is souls, Missile is bonfire. When you level up, you can't increase your stats. Your stats aren't represented by a number except for your HP and stamina. Instead, it's ranked from E to A+. And each blood code gives you a different rank in each stat. Just like Dark Souls, your stats determine how effective your equipment is, so make sure they match, like dex for one-handed swords and strength for two-handed. Each blood code has its own set of gifts you can get using Haze that allows you to pull off stylish acrobatic moves, shoot shit out of your hands, add elemental effects to your weapon, buffs. There's a lot you can get here. The gifts you can use aren't restricted to your blood code, so you can use gifts from other blood codes if you have the right stats for them. There are a ton of options for combat here, and it's overwhelming how much there are. Other than the stat increase gives, I didn't find myself relying on them that much. You can pretty much play the game like Dark Souls and you'll get by fine. It's good that there's variety at least. So the game starts with you waking up after who knows how many drinks to look at her. Oh my god, she's the one. That's wife. She's wife. Oh, she's so cute. I wanna take her home. Sorry, my inner weeb escaped for a moment there. So you guys walk over to this plant root thing before tripping and the girl drops some blood on the plant and it grows these blood beets. The girl makes you drink it and those sweet thighs. I'm happy, I can die now. 10 out of 10 woke me up and said, wait no, don't you do this to me, get away from her. Next you wake up in a room building, still on them thighs, and find out that you got captured by these revenant guys. Remnants are people who died and resurrected into vampiric creatures. They're immortal but requires blood beats or blood from humans occasionally to keep sane, or else they'll turn to the lost and start killing everybody. You're a remnant yourself, and you've lost your memories. So throughout the game, you slowly discover who you are, why you have a waifu with you, and what it means to be an anime protagonist. Throughout the game, you can collect these blood messages, which contains memories of various remnants and unlocks gifts inside blood codes. After getting your ass kicked down on the ground to look for blood beats, you get a buddy, Oliver, who gets fucked up within 5 minutes upon entering this area. Oliver, no! I can't feel so. After getting isekai'd a few times, you meet a stranger who looks like a creepy pedo waiting for a kid to walk past. And like the smart man that I am, I agree to go with him. I spilled my blood on the blood spring, got some blood beads, and escaped the cave. Outside we find Oliver, who has turned into one of the lost. The fight is pretty easy. His movements are slow and are telegraphed well, so time your dodges and you'll be fine. After destroying Oliver, a vestige appears along with whispers. For some reason the protagonists are attracted to these vestiges, so of course they grab it even though the stranger told them not to. With that, we go into our first memory sequence. These memory sequences serve as backstory for characters. These are beautiful. The music, the lighting, the way everything moves. It's so artsy. You learn about where they've been, what they've done, and how they got to this point. There's some very emotional moments here, so it encourages you to explore every nook and cranny of the world to find all the vestiges. After scaring everyone with the memory, we arrive at the hub area. The stranger's name is Louis, who is part of a group of revenants trying to survive, except they're the good guys. We also learned that wife's name is Io, who also lost her memories. You got all your basic needs here. You can talk to your partners, buy and sell items, upgrade your equipment, take a dip in the hot spring with everyone looking awkward. I love this game. When interacting with your partners, you can give them presents, which can be exchanged for points to redeem rare items and weapons. You can find presents while exploring, or if you have any old world materials, you can trade with the guy at the crossbow for presents. So those are the basics. You pretty much go from place to place, kill the badman, fight bosses, get vestiges, fight for your friends, and get some story bits. Simple. The music is one of the highlights of this game. Composer Golshina did a great job on the soundtrack. It's dramatic, epic, and very emotional. I'm mostly familiar with his work on the God Eater games, which also has a lot of dramatic and epic tracks. He's damn good at what he does. The voice acting is a hit or miss. Most of the time the actors sound really nice, but sometimes it gets real cheesy, which is common for anything anime related, unfortunately.
Oh, this? It's called onigiri. It's a kind of food that's easy to carry around.
It gets even more annoying when your partner keeps commenting on everything you do, like when you open a chest or deciding which way to go at a crossroad.
The decision is yours. Here's our path. Just go with your gut. I don't need to watch my back with you around.
They could have turned it down a bit, or at least have the option to turn it off. The graphics are wonderfully anime. Pretty boys, ridiculous character designs, big tits, it's all there. The environments nail that post-apocalyptic feel. Everything is fucked, just like the Fallout games. There are many locations you can explore, and some of them has unique environmental hazards. The icy ground can crumble in snowy mountains, quicksand in the desert, my asshole after eating a burrito. But mostly you'll be going into ruined buildings, which is kinda boring. And the fucking cathedral, fuck this place, man. This place is a fucking endless maze. Everything looks the same. It's so damn white it hurts my eyeballs.
Everything's the same color. I'm afraid I'll get confused.
Normally the map reveals itself after you find and purify red missiles, after finishing a small area, but what they consider small for this area is outrageous. It's huge, confusing, and I don't like it. Otherwise everything ranges from okay to nice. Most of the bosses are easy to kill, and if you're a Souls veteran it's even easier. They're fine for the most part, but sometimes their attacks are a bit hard to telegraph. Most of the time you can tell what they will do, but then they just fucking stinger your ass at the speed of light, fucking your soul in the heart and out your asshole. You can brute force the first half of the game, but then it goes up the roof with fast attacks, teleportation, and homing balls of fuck. It would have been nice if they worked out the difficulty curve more. The boss designs though.
Yeah, boy.
Whoa! They are as anime as they get, and I wouldn't have it any other way. For crying out loud, there's a pole dancing spear woman fucking shit up with her dance moves, dude. You can't get better than this. Code Vein was fun. I love the anime graphics, music, character designs, and flashy combat. If you played any Souls games prior to this, the gameplay won't be as special to you. The story is cheesy, full of friendship and onigiri, but it's charming in a wholesome, post-apocalyptic kind of way. The environments are good for the most part, but it gets boring to look at quickly. That fucking cathedral! Bosses can mostly be brute force, and the difficulty is not balanced. Also, God Eater reference! Yeah, when's the crossover, man? This game is like comfort food for me. It's anime, simple, easy to get into, and I could just shut my brain off playing them. After spending 20 hours with it, I had a blast. If you're into anime games, get it. Make your waifus or husbandos and go kill some vampire things. Objectively speaking, Code Vein doesn't bring anything new to the table. If you're curious, get it on a sale. Now we just have to wait for the nude mods. So wait, no, I was kidding. Don't ruin my waifu.